And now, GroupCollect presents GroupCollect, the podcast. Welcome everyone to GroupCollect, the podcast. My name is Eric Young, Brand Development Manager here at GroupCollect, and I'm joined as always from Massachusetts by my co-host Ryan Kramer and our headquarters in St. Augustine, Florida by Kathleen Lyles. How are each of you doing on this fine spring afternoon?
Hello. We are doing good. We have finally reached the 80s down here in lovely sunny Florida. So feeling that the spring is on its way, hopefully.
It was a hard and bitter winter for us Floridians, wasn't it?
Yes.
You two. I've been all winter right out of the window from my office. I've been watching this snowbank just grow and grow and grow and shrink and shrink and shrink. And I let a smile crawl across my face last week because the snowbank is finally gone because we're in the 40s here in the greater Boston area. So you Floridians enjoy those 80s.
Oh, we typically do year round. That's why it was so punishing for us when it dipped below that this winter. But thank each of you for being here. Thank you to everybody that is listening today. In this episode, we're going to be talking about our latest development in the GroupCollect Register system, which is add-on selection dates. More on that in a minute. We're also going to talk about the latest TripMate policy documents and where you can find them. And then, you two, I am very, very excited to be transitioning into two excellent interviews that we conducted this month. One with our very own President Bud Geissler and Bryce Wilson, who gave us some insights on our group travel supplier-oriented platform, GroupCollect Supplier link. And then the second interview is with ABA's Lew Myers, super interesting dude. And so stick around to the end of the episode for that one. But first, let's get into our latest GroupCollect Register development. Kathleen, can you give us a rundown on what we mean by add-on selection dates and why this matters for anyone that is using GroupCollect Register?
Yes, absolutely. So currently, the system gives you which add-on your passengers have via a yes or a no. So we will soon be seeing the option of the date that they added the add-on, essentially, the date that it was chosen by your passenger. So this comes in handy for you to see who chose that add-on first. And if you are in a situation where your add-ons are limited, that will help you determine who gets priority of that add-on.
So this is the great assister in the first come, first serve scenario if there
Yeah.
is limited space on an add-on that you are offering, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And where you'll see this is it's going to be added in your exports. So your passenger exports, you'll just select the name, select the add-on, and you'll then see the option for the add-on date added as well.
So Ryan, from the development side, can you talk a little bit about the origins on why we are now deploying this as a solution to add-ons with limited space? What's your take on that?
Absolutely. So this was a great collaboration with one of our fantastic software engineers, Anna. And when Anna and I talked about kind of how to best solve this problem, she was very resourceful in looking at what we had available to us in our database of information already and what we could do to in the most expeditious way possible, deliver a solution to this problem that Kathleen had brought to light for us. So, in terms of efficiency, in terms of delivering what it is that our tenants need, this was the obvious choice here, which was to add it to our export options. And it was just a great example of, we really do have the best team of software engineers around who can hear a problem and very quickly flip it into a solution that leverages resources that we've already taken the time to build out and just puts them in kind of a different view that helps our tenants do the important work they have. So I'm excited for this.
Exactly. So, super creative problem solving on part of the development team, and something that I think that we're all really excited to roll out to users of GroupCollect Register. But to be clear, I think that all of this was born out of we heard that users needed some kind of a solution to when they are offering an add-on that has a limited capacity. Something like we've always used the example of like the zip lining through the Costa Rican rainforest, right? And you can only offer 30 seats or something like that. It would be probably most ideal to have a hard cutoff in the system, right? Where the 31st person could no longer purchase that add-on. And though that might be something that we want to develop in the future, and ideally how we would like the system to operate, at least being able to access the add-on selection dates for right now seems to be the quickest solution to be able to find out when you have reached that capacity. Is that pretty much summarizing it?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. And the one other thing that I'll say about it too is, this is the March edition of the Group Collect Register the podcast here. And having been in this industry for a hot minute, I know what March is like. And this is a solution that allows us to um, get you all a solution to your problem without making any radical changes to your user interface or make you have to refamiliarize yourself in any major way with the platform while you are at your busiest. We know how stressful that would be, and we're committed to keeping the platform working and functional and in a way that's familiar to you when you really just need to hit the ground running every day and have register there available to you and working as you expect it to.
Feel that, man. I feel that deep down. Um, what we also wanted to bring to our listeners' attention is that March and the spring in general brings another tradition, which is that your TripMate policy documents are now new and updated, right? This is the regenerative sort of spirit of spring, your new policy docs from TripMate. So Kathleen, can you talk to our listeners about these new documents, where they can find them, and what they will be needing them for?
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody should currently have the trip mate policy summaries. So you'll have one for standard and one for enhanced. What these are updated documents. The claims process has been updated. So if you didn't join our first Zoom event, the beginning of the year, please go back, look at our first Zoom event. You can rewatch that and get all of the information you need there for the updated claims process. But these new documents do have an updated link for how your passengers can now file a claim all electronically. So that is awesome. They'll replace the existing ones that you have, and we will also have those updated on the website. So, Eric, can you tell us exactly where they will be on the website?
Yeah, if you go to groupcollect.com on the homepage, you'll see all of the resource pages. So you'll want to click on the administrator's resource page and then scroll to the bottom. There is a section titled Downloadable Documents, and that's where you will find the most updated TripMate policy docs. And those will be accessible all year round. Also, very likely, if you're listening to this episode of the show, you might have been connected to it through the monthly email that we send out. So we are also going to link the policy documents through the email as well.
Perfect. Yes. And the other thing to note is these are public facing. So you can share these with your passengers, with your teachers, with anyone who has questions about the trip protection policies. Share these with them first. If there are additional follow-up questions, please direct them directly to a TripMate team member.
Very cool. Very cool. So with that, and of course, if you ever have any questions about any of this, just reach out to help@groupcollect.com, and we'll be there for you. But
Yeah.
what I would like to do now is we're gonna transition over into our the interview segment of the show. We've been getting some really awesome feedback. People like to hear the conversations and other voices, not just from within our organization, but also abroad from other voices in the group travel industry. And so, in this here episode of the podcast, we have delivered both. The first one being a conversation with our very own President Bud Geissler and Bryce Wilson, who is just out there in the field talking to folks about GroupCollect Supplier Link on a daily basis. So without further ado, everybody, it is Ryan, Bryce, and President Bud chatting a little bit about Supplier Link. So, President Bud, I'm going to start off with you. Can you remind or tell anybody that does not know what's Supplier Link? What's like the 50,000-foot view of that platform? And what is the problem that Supplier Link is intending to solve for the group travel industry?
That's a great question. So, Supplier Link is a listing of suppliers in the group travel industry, in the group travel world. So, the problem that it's solving is that it is connecting tour operators with hotels, restaurants, attractions, different venues at the time of booking. And this is the differentiator for us. Sometimes you can have a listing out there and a tour operator may have to wade through 6, 7, or 8 pages to find whether or not you can have a group perform at your venue or whether or not you have enough room for 200 travelers. So our system is wading through all the other chaos out there online and providing that tour operator with the very specific answers that that tour operator needs at the time they're building the itinerary. And then Supplier Link will feed directly into our operational tool that will allow tour operators to send and receive RFPs and payments, moving it down the road a little bit. So, is that a short enough answer unless we have a longer elevator ride?
I think that that's appropriately length. What do you guys think? Anything to add to that in terms of what's the overarching purpose and mission of Supplier Link?
I think Bud mostly covered that. I mean, one thing I would just add to that, just to, to make sure we're harping on the fact that what it is not intended to necessarily replace anything, but just accentuate the business that's being done in a healthy way for all parts of the group travel industry. So we want to continue to, foster an environment that is positive for everybody in this space. And I absolutely believe that, this product and some of the coming products as well are absolutely achieving that. So that's all I got.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say, to me, this symbolizes our crossing over into kind of every aspect of the group travel industry. We've been so lucky to be connecting with these tour operators and now being able to open up the supplier side of the equation here. I say it all the time, but the group travel industry is one that no one's here by accident. We're here because it's important to us, because it means a lot to us, and being able to more fully and robustly serve the entire industry is something that I think is so in line with our mission and something that I'm so glad we're doing with this suite of products.
For sure. Now, Ryan, you and Bryce had the privilege of being able to speak to suppliers, CVBs, DMOs at the ABA Marketplace Conference on the floor. You're in person. You are peddling this platform. What were those conversations like? What were people excited about with GroupCollect Supplier Link? And dare I say, more importantly, what were they concerned about? And what were some of the ways that we are addressing those concerns, or that Supplier Link addresses those concerns that they might not know about? We'll start with you, Bryce.
Yeah, sure. Those are awesome questions, Eric. So one thing that I was excited to share with people is the connectability that the platform is going to continue to offer. So so many times I talk to CVBs and DMOs that are driving around their town, their area, looking for motor coaches, right? And so what we want to do is make sure that maybe we'll take a little bit of that searching away from you, and in the form of providing a little bit more communication throughout the year. It's so important to be at these conferences and have this FaceTime, and we recognize the value of that. We want to make sure that throughout the year that people are communicating in addition to those face-to-face meetings as well too. And the platform is going to allow for the CVBs and the DMOs and the suppliers directly as well to all be connected. So I think that communication, a lot of people were really excited about to be able to stay in touch with one another, to be able to provide dynamic offerings, things that are changing a lot of the times in different destinations are going to be live information. So I think that's pretty cool. One thing that we wanted to make sure about that wouldn't necessarily say there was concerns with, but one thing we just wanted to address that I alluded to a little bit earlier is the fact that it's healthy for everyone. So this doesn't cut any portion of the market out. It doesn't stop anything. It doesn't prevent anything. It actually just adds to the business that's being done. So I just wanted to make sure that we're clear with the fact that the mission of this is for the health of the travel industry in all phases. And I think that, as people are continuing to speak with us and they, are taking a look at the platform, that's evident. But, it's just something that I want to make sure that we talk about and that we disclose that we are here to make this industry as healthy as possible.
Right. It's a supplementary piece. There's not going to be any radical upheaval, especially with the relationship of the CVBs and the DMOs. It sounds like there is a very, very important role for them within Supplier Link where they are not cut out. Rather, their dynamic is empowered even more in a way that so that they're not chasing charter buses. You want to be a
Right.
CVB. You don't want to be a CBC, charter bus chaser.
That's right.
Ryan, anything to add, especially on the side of concerns that you heard that you felt like people might not be aware of how Supplier Link is addressing things in the ways we can overcome those concerns?
Well, the biggest concern that I was personally hearing with my conversation is, to list myself on Supplier Link, what does it cost? What's the commitment? And at
Right?
this point, listing yourself on Supplier Link does not cost anything. You're not at the time of signing up binding into any contract or anything like that. It's quite simple to create an account, look around, see what configuring a page would look like. So that was something that seemed to be reassuring to a lot of folks out there in terms of concerns. But I think otherwise, Bryce really captured that other, I wouldn't even say objection, but just that other thing that's top of mind, which is, does this, lift the tide of the entire industry? And I think Bryce very eloquently put how we do. So.
Bryce and Ryan, you summed it up extremely well. Two pieces that I'd like to add to those things is this is not a system designed to help a tour operator send out RFPs to 500 restaurants in one location or RFPs to 30 different hotels. That's not the job we're trying to do. We're trying to organize the fact that they have already selected a supplier, they have a partner, or they're interested in a CVB or DMO doing that job for them. So we're not creating a communication tool where they can send out a mass RFP for a restaurant in a destination. That is not what we're doing. It is very specific. We know that clutter and white noise is just as destructive as not having the technology there to do something. So we do not want to create white noise. We want RFPs that go out from interested tour operators to hotels, restaurants, attractions that can handle the group business. And that's what we're trying to shore up. The second piece that I just want to do some clarification after hearing everybody talk is, we will have a revenue stream down the road, right? Right now it is free. The listings are free. There's no subscription model. Our revenue model on the other products that we have in the marketplace is transaction based. So this isn't something that's designed to get you in, to make you think about it, and then to get you into a subscription model. I'm not saying a subscription model may not be down the road a little bit. However, what our goal is to get you working together and then to solve the problems with revenue later. It'll come because we're creating solutions for tour operators and for suppliers. And we feel that the revenue opportunity will exist once we've created those solutions.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, in terms of the status of Supplier Link, as I mentioned, we were at the conference talking to folks about it. This is a question for you, Bud. What would you say is the status of the platform right now? It seems like we're in a building phase of it, certainly with regards to getting suppliers, CVBs, and DMOs to be aware and present on the platform. What would you
Yeah,
say?
absolutely. Thank you. So, currently, Supplier Link is live. If you go to supplierlink.com, you can sign up as a supplier. The tour operators also have an opportunity to sign up, although we've held off on that. And the reason we've held off on that is because we felt like we need to build a pretty solid marketplace for them to look at. We want them to come into our system and not say, oh, there's only 3 people here or 4 people here. We want them to be overwhelmed with the support that we have from our suppliers. We have a few destinations. The Northern Kentucky destination has built out the Cincinnati region extremely well. We're really excited to share their information. And when we meet with tour operators, we share all their destination information because it's the one that's built out the way we'd like to see it. And so they've created a collection of their properties. So they have a collection of hotels that are group friendly in there and a collection of attractions. So it's live. It's up and running. We have not pushed it out to the tour operator community. We will probably be rolling that out at the end of Q2, beginning of Q2. Um, we have an additional product coming into the marketplace called GroupCollect Ops, and not to confuse the two topics. However, that's going to start rolling out with beta testing here at the end of Q1. That's going to help us develop the supplier link piece as well. So that'll fit perfectly and feed into the supplier link tool from the tour operator side. So those two pieces are coming together. So the status is it's live. You're not going to get any leads just yet. But by the end of Q1, we will have tour operators that are investigating the supplier link portal through our ops tool.
All right, everybody. Yes. Thank you very much for checking out that interview. What we also want to say is that the second portion of that recording was things got a little wild. Budlington Geissler showed up, the colonial tour operator, the time traveling colonial tour operator. He wound up spinning the wheel, conducting the giveaway for the grand prize of the hot tub. We have a video of all of that is linked in the March communication email as well. So check that out for a good fun time. But what we want to do now is we're going to jump into our very next interview with our esteemed guest, Lew Myers. Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about Lew Myers and what the origin of this conversation was all about?
It would be my pleasure, Eric. So, our team got introduced to Lew, who is the brand new head of the policy and research arm over at the American Bus Association. As you're about to hear, Lew has just a really robust background in policy, coming from a years-long career in Capitol Hill, where he's really spearheaded a spirit of bipartisanship and getting things done, which is just so heartening to hear.
Absolutely. And so here we go. Check out our chat with Lew Myers of ABA.
All right, everybody. I am thrilled to be joined by Lew Myers of the American Bus Association, their Director of Policy, Research, and Impact. Lew, thank you so much for joining us here.
Well, Ryan and Eric, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. So really appreciate you guys for the invite. Look forward to the conversation.
Can you start out by just introducing our listeners to yourself? Tell us a little bit about your background and the journey to ABA.
Absolutely. So journey really started back in 2012 when I first got to Capitol Hill. I worked for then Senator Manchin, who was newly elected out of West Virginia. He had just completed the seat of Robert Byrd. And then subsequently, I was on his reelection campaign so that he could get a full 6-year term back to the Senate. And so that was my initial introduction to Capitol Hill. From there, Marcia Fudge, who was the former CBC chair out of Cleveland, Ohio, she had an opening position and recruited me to join her team. So I went from the Senate over to the House, and then worked for a couple other House members before my most recent stint, which was with Lisa Blunt Rochester, who is the first African American senator elected from the state of Delaware, and only the third African American female elected to the Senate. So it was kind of full circle to start with Manchin in 2012, and then to make a little history on the back end with Lisa in November's election of 2024. While on Capitol Hill, I'm a big golfer for background's sake, and so I started a golf league called Congressional Golf Association. And just having been on Capitol Hill for a number of years and understanding the pulse of how Congress was becoming divided, I thought, what a great way to kind of bring members and staff together through the game of golf, which doesn't care what party affiliation you have. It is a meritocracy. And so we just entered year 8 of CGA. We've had an opportunity to work with several members, committees, and senior staff. And the coolest thing is really to watch, folk who have never played the game before and or Republicans and Democrats working together. We've actually had an opportunity where 2 offices were able to jointly work on a bill. So that's kind of the farthest thing we would ever imagine, just kind of creating something. But the experience, and to get back to your question of how I got to ABA and a little bit of the background, is understanding that in order for an association like ABA to thrive, you have to have a congressional presence and you have to have some advocacy. And so it was a natural transition having 12 plus years of Capitol Hill experience to join such a legacy organization as ABA and be able to really pound the pavement, get on Capitol Hill and push for some of the issues, including tariffs, which I'm sure we'll touch on at some point, but to make sure that we have and are positioned to advocate for the travel and tourism industry. So excited to be here at ABA entering month 4. My first introduction to Marketplace was in Philadelphia, which was a cool splash opportunity. So yeah, excited to be at ABA and bring my skill sets and experience to this opportunity.
Lou, just for the record, completely, obviously, congratulations on joining the
Yep.
association. I had no idea that you were so recently transplanted from Capitol Hill, but what does your day-to-day look like with the association?
One of my caps is managing the foundation, which is a part of ABA. The cool thing about the ABA Foundation is it really serves 2 purposes. One is research, 2 is scholarships. So, just to touch on our scholarship program, we've given annually about $125,000 in scholarships to students who are looking to be in the travel and tourism industry. And so we really look at the foundation and our scholarship initiative as an opportunity to reinvest into the industry. And so we've been going strong for the last 30 years with that initiative. And that's why a marketplace and just to do a plug is quite important for individuals to continue contributing to the foundation because those money and those dollars do go back into our scholarship initiative where we can find talented individuals who are going to take the next generation to the next level when it comes to the motor coach travel and tourism industry. The other hat I wear is the foundation. And so as soon as I joined, we understood that the new administration might put in a tariff program. And so we initiated research to look at what a 25% tariff would have as an economic impact on our industry between the US and Canada. And that study is public on our website and happy to distribute it if you guys want to send out to your network. But we learned that there'd be a loss of over 15,000 jobs. We know that there would be a $3 billion economic impact in the negative with tariffs. It would really affect our OEMs, which are our original equipment manufacturers. You're looking at layoffs, you're looking at supply chain disruptions, and you're really just looking at a stymie in innovation because we understand that many of our operators would no longer invest in new technology and new motor coach. They would probably sit on their existing fleet. So it's a downtrodden economic impact that we've learned. And so the research dollars that come from the foundation allow us to not only advocate for our members, keep them educated, but we're also able to quantify that data and then take it to Capitol Hill for our member engagement opportunities where we're advocating so that they can see in real time if these tariffs are re-implemented, and right now we're on a 30-day halt, if you will, but we need to get in front of the T&I committee, the transportation and infrastructure. We're working with small business. We're working with the FTA and other organizations just to show that it's not only airlines and train, but the motor coach industry has a dog in this fight. And we really want to, energize our members to speak vocally as well. And so with the tariffs, we also rolled out a tariff toolkit, which allowed our members to directly communicate with their elected officials to add a little pressure to our campaign. And so again, coming from Capitol Hill, understanding how you can really move the needle when it comes to getting members to buy in and have influence is kind of an all of the above approach. And I think we're doing a great job here at ABA of really planting our flag about these tariffs and where we want to go in the future.
Can you speak a little bit about folks who might be interested in directing some dollars towards the foundation, be it the scholarship end or the research end, about what options are available there and some other ideas to kind of send money y'all's way?
No, absolutely. And the fact that we are even speaking today is a product of outreach and just having conversation and follow up. And so an exchange of business cards at Marketplace has allowed us to get to this point. And so one of my caps with the foundation is selling and educating individuals on the opportunities that there are to support the foundation. Um, Typically, when people want to contribute to the foundation, they can even specify if they want their dollars to go towards research initiatives or scholarships, or they can just put it kind of in the general fund. So, anyone listening, I'm happy to leave my information. You can email me directly. We also have instructions on our website about how to get involved with the foundation. We're also rolling out a new initiative. I guess it's breaking news here. We haven't rolled it out completely, but we're also going to have a donor recognition program for individuals who give at various levels. And that can include additional marketing and opportunities on the ABA website, cross promotion. ABA is over the Destination magazine. And so at a certain giving level, we'll have an opportunity to put company and their messages within our programming. We are completely revamping our website over the next 6 months or so. And so we'll have some additional interaction. And so really exciting things coming down the pipe. And so really also want to give a shout out to our president and CEO, Fred Ferguson, and my colleague, Callie Hoyt. We are the three newest members to ABA, and we have a new vision, if you will, about how we want to transition ABA as we lean into our centennial year of 2026. So really big year coming up next year. We'll be in Reno for our marketplace. And there'll be many opportunities over the coming months to get involved with the foundation. Just a quick note on our scholarship. Our scholarship program is going to close on 30 April. At that point, we'll start processing applications, and then we start to award scholarships mid-July so that the money is distributed by the time they get to the fall semester, which is usually late August, early September. And so we are right in the throes of scholarships, the research initiatives. We have an innovation and sustainability report that I'll be releasing over the coming weeks. It's going to show that motor coach not only are a way to decongest roads because the average 55 passenger motor coach takes 30 cars off the road, but it's also clean energy as well. And so we really want to show the industry and the nation as a whole that bus transportation is clean, affordable, and the future. Also want to highlight that this is a decade of a golden era coming up. We have the FIFA World Cup coming up in 2026. And so we are really planting strong seeds so that the motor coach industry and our operators are going to be primed and ready to go to take advantage of that opportunity. FIFA is estimating that 8 million international travelers will be coming to the United States. So that's going to be a great test of the system. And so it starts now. And then, of course, we know in 2028, we'll have the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. And LA is calling for a carless Olympics, which means that it would be a lot of motor coach, a lot of operators, some rail included in there as well. And so we're really positioning our members and our motor coach industry, tourism as well, just to be ready for the influx that's going to be happening over the next few years.
I just want to note that you heard it here first on Group Collect, the podcast, that the incentive
Yes,
program of the ABA donors is going to be something that's rolling out here in the new future or in the near
absolutely.
future. Thank you so much for that, Lou. Back to our regularly scheduled interview.
No, I mean, it's absolutely perfect timing. And I mean, just another shout out to Group Collect because you guys are really doing a lot of good work on your end. and we see the results on our end as well. And always had good to have you as a proud member of ABA.
No,
Well,
absolutely. And I mean, I think that the main intersection where we're at right here is, we serve a really large community of professional travel planners, especially the tour operators that are
Yep,
utilizing motor coaches, and that's the lifeblood of their business. So,
absolutely.
I think that there is this awesome intersection of interests right here. I think that a lot of the tour operators that we want to make this show for
Yep.
are ones that hopefully are extremely interested in being massive donors and contributing towards the research and scholarships that you're working on here with ABA.
We'd love
So
to hear that. We'd love to hear that.
absolutely.
I have to say it is taking everything in my power to not point out every pun. I mean, intersection, rollout, all of these bus puns we have here while we're talking to our friend from ABA here. But Lew, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. There's still a good chunk of window or good window of time by the time that we release this podcast
Yep.
where applications for scholarships will still be live. If anyone's listening to this and thinks they may know a good candidate for an ABA scholarship, can you talk about how someone might go about applying for that?
Absolutely. You can visit our website at ababuses.org, and we have a full application program where you can apply directly there. There are detailed instructions, and we also have FAQs for if you have any questions. And my contact information is there as well. So if anybody listening or is interested, I have an open door policy. You can email or call me directly, and I will guide you through because we want to make sure that we have as many applicants as possible because we give out usually 25 scholarships. And so a lot of money to be had. And yeah, we still have at least another month or so, just under 6 weeks for individuals to apply. And again, we cater and gear towards individuals who are looking to get into the travel and tourism industry. And so whether you're a freshman in college, whether you're looking to do grad school, we have a wide swath of opportunities and we have available dollars. And so it's our mission to kick those dollars out to young talented individuals who are going to be the next generation. And one thing about the motor coach industry, there's a lot of legacy, there's a lot of family business, and so we really want to encourage and really put a light under the folk who are going to be taking the mantle or the Olympic flame, if you will, for the next 25, 30, 45 years. And so yeah, absolutely, you can visit our website or you can contact me directly, and happy to walk you through the process.
We'll also be able to include links to things like
Yes.
the portal to donate and the
Yep.
link for application in the show notes. So
Ab-
that'll be something that if you're listening wherever, whatever platform you're on, hopefully you'll be able to just look below and click right there to get to where you want to be.
Absolutely.
Well, Lew Myers, thank you so much for coming on Collect the podcast, and as proud members of the tourism industry, and we thank you for all the hard work that you do to keep buses rolling, keep the industry thriving, and support the youth who are going to come up and sit where we're sitting someday.
Well, I really appreciate it, and it's our mission to give back to our members because y'all invest so much into us, and so we really want to plant our flag, and we've dropped the gloves to let our members know that we're in this fight on a legislative battle to make sure that we're positioning everyone so that we can thrive and succeed over the coming years.
All righty. Thank you, Lew.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Eric.
All right, everybody. Again, that was Lew Myers of the American Bus Association with Ryan Kramer and myself. Just as we had mentioned in the interview, there will be links for everything that we had discussed, from application for the scholarship to how to contribute. Any final words for our listeners today, Kathleen or Ryan?
Hang in there. We know spring is a very busy time for most of you guys, and we're here for you, whatever you need help with. And just, we got this. We're almost through it. So we're just know that we're right there with you and helping you through it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Have a good spring, everybody.
On behalf of both of my co-hosts, we are saying farewell for now. And a reminder, of course, to always stay cool and collecting.
This has been a GroupCollect production.